My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now.
Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramer America. I'll be one of my friends. I'm just trying to make you some money. My job is not just to entertain you, but to educate, teach, put it in context. Call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. We used to call it the Santa Claus rally when the whole market roared going into Christmas. Like today, where the Dow climbed 338 points, the S&P gained 1.29%, and the Nasdaq vaulted 1.25%. But sadly, this is not your typical Santa Claus move. The market didn't have a Scrooge experience where it saw the ghost of Christmas future, decided to become more gracious and accommodating. I'm not saying Santa isn't real or that we're all getting a lump of coal in our portfolios this year. It's just that this rally is about something else entirely. Right now, we have bets being made from all different directions. Contradictory bets that are sticking. They don't make any sense when you put them all together. Sooner or later, someone has to be wrong. For the moment, though, Christmas joy abounds, the Santa Claus rally continues, and Wall Street gamblers move up their favorite stocks with their buy. You know what it's like? It's almost like a horse race, where the ponies in the paddock headed toward the gate, all flathered, all fractious, and ready to roll. You need to view each contradictory thesis as a different horse. So which ones are getting the biggest money down? The odds are the odds are changing every single minute because there's so much money being bet on different stocks. First, we have in pole position vaccine. Yes, the people who are betting on vaccine are those who believe that Moderna this week will join Pfizer with a vaccine that's easier to transport and manufacture and don't have to be so cold. And we've got even more vaccines on the way. I think vaccine takes the race if J&J is the jockey. Now, I know you're not supposed to bet the jockey. I've been along round enough to know that. But if we can get Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J shipping vaccines, we could have, and I know I'm the only person in America, because I'm from Philadelphia, I can say that, who believes that we could have a glut in this country by the end of the first quarter. The only person, but remember, I was also the only person who predicted the pandemic when everyone thought it was a complete nut job. And with a vaccine glut, we can finally start to live without fear again, even if not everyone takes the darn thing. If vaccine wins the horse race, all the recovery plays will roar higher. Everything that does better when the world goes back to normal. And all of those stocks were bought today, and you can see the pattern. It never stops. I say vaccine's about a 4-to-1 shot. It would be a 2-to-1 shot, except Pfizer and Moderna don't have enough doses to do the job. You'll hear more about that later in the show. If J&J jumps on the horse, it's 2-to-1, no problem. Throw in some of the other players, AstraZeneca maybe, and it's a walkover. Second position, lockdown. Yeah, here comes lockdown. Coming on the home stretch. Lockdown, well, people betting on lockdown after New York City with the restaurants, right? They see the virus out of control, and they believe states will have to shut down their economies, at least partially. A selective lockdown would do less damage, but either way, it's a recipe for recession. Nobody wants that, but it might be unavoidable from a public health perspective. Every other country that's done this has thrown money at people to ameliorate the damage. However, a lockdown with no federal assistance would be devastating. I'm putting this one really as a 5-to-1 shot. Remember, there are some winners in lockdown, the Cramer COVID winners, but they are largely intact to the detriment of all others. We should call lockdown by its nickname, FANG, sired by FANG. Drug stocks work too. Third pony, no lockdown. Today, for some reason, certainly not the COVID statistics, right? The caseload, we got heavy money coming in on no lockdown. You can tell because all the non-essential retailers were flying. Because there's not enough money to go around to bet on everything at once. Some investors sold garden variety tech stocks to fund these wagers. No lockdown looks like a 2-to-1 shot today, but I got to tell you, I think that's way too optimistic. How about the trickiest bets? Some parlays, maybe? A little daily double? Some people are betting that Congress will pass another stimulus package, which could be an interesting parlay with no lockdown and vaccine. Then there's no stimulus, which is disastrous when paired with lockdown. Long shots all around. All right, so now let's step away from the ponies, okay? And let's talk about a complete another, well, let's just ditch the metaphor entirely, and I can do that because I've had the show for 15 years. Okay, first, there's a ton of money on the sidelines with investors who can't wait to get in. And this is really what's driving a lot of the market. We hear the cash levels are low at mutual funds. I don't really care about that. What matters is the cash on the sidelines. Get this. There's now as much as $5 trillion making nothing. $5 trillion making it so that you can't possibly retire? You think that's a good bet? I got to tell you, that money, well, it's time. It's time for that money to move in. People want to get some return. Now, if you want returns, Yes, I hate that only game in town thing, but you can't make up new stuff every night. Only game in town works. I talk to a lot of investors, and the overwhelming sentiment right now is enough already. I want to own more stock. Of course, there are tons of professionals out there who'll tell you these buyers are too late. There's tons of amateurs, by the way, writing about me all over in these different websites. That's okay. I want to educate. I've got to get these new people in. I don't want them to blow their heads off. I say it depends. If we get enough vaccine doses and Congress passes a stimulus package, you're going to have a booming economy. The market will roar. And that's a big if. But the opportunity is really working. And let me tell you how we know this. Apple. Yep, the most important stock in this market is not Tesla. It's not Amazon. It's not Microsoft. It's not something that's Wall Street betting on bets, and it's not something that's on Seeking Alpha, and it's not something that's in the Motley the Fool. No, it's Apple. This thing had been treading water for ages. Last night, though, we heard that Apple's boosting iPhone orders for some 30% versus a year ago. Now, that was some Nikkei. It was an Asian paper. I'm sure that the bears will try to shoot it down tomorrow, so inoculate yourself against that. Now, if this is the case, everything and everyone in the iPhone food chain can beat expectations. And boy, that's a ton of stocks. If the story's true, you can buy pretty much anything in tech that you want, and that's what people did today. Apple is that important. It roared. This thing was up $6. It was up 5%. You know what I think? How about own Apple? Don't trade it. Third, Senate Majority Leader, no one talked about this. I love this. Maybe people are afraid. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell finally did something. It's unthinkable. I mean, like, he congratulated President-elect Biden. Yesterday, the Electoral College convened, and if there was ever any doubt about who would be the next occupant of the White House, that's now over. It's done. There was always a time limit on President Trump's efforts to litigate his way to victory. But Wall Street hates uncertainty, and we didn't know if the Republican leadership would ever accept the results, and you never knew what court was going to finally agree with the guy. There's always some court, right? I mean, like Star Chamber Court, whatever. Why does this matter? Because when you take the presidential election deliciously out of control, just off the picture, just get it out of the equation, maybe Congress can finally pass a stimulus package to protect people who are about to lose their unemployment benefits and small businesses that are about to be shut, gone, see you later. Fourth, we're finally getting to the point, and this is something no one's talking, it's starting to bug me. We're going to have at-home COVID testing, and it's not going to be run by doctors or these testing companies or any of that nonsense. Right now, we have all these difficult ways to stop the pandemic. We got the mask, the physical distancing, staying home. People hate all these things, but we're failing because the American way is to give me convenience or give me death. Today, this convenient at-home test got approved, and I think it's a good start. What we really need is a simple paper test. Every morning when you get up, you take a Q-tip, stick it up your nose, and wipe it on a piece of paper, and 50 minutes later, you find out if you're sick or not. If you're sick, you stay home. We know that Slovakia is actually using the paper ship method. They're literally doing what I just said. And do you know that the numbers of caseload are plummeting in Slovakia? You probably don't even care. You're wrong. Austria and Poland go in the same direction. Why can't we? I mean, it's available. It'll cost a fraction of this crazy stuff we're doing now. And in America, think about it. We got a ridiculous approach to testing. Once a week, or maybe when you don't feel well, I don't know, you get tested. Then you find out your results a couple days later. What? Who dreamed this up? I mean, hey, that's fine. By that time, you've infected everybody at work. Or no, maybe you infected everybody at school. Doesn't matter. It's like worldwide. I'm like the East Coast distributor. You're the Midwest distributor. That's the Southern distributor. This is crazy. If you can take an at-home test every morning, though, you'll catch the virus before you're infectious. And then you stay home. Guess what? You know what happens then? You stop a pandemic. Combine at-home testing with the vaccines and some therapeutics that reduce the death toll, and I think we're closer to beating this thing than anybody believes. Assuming you buy that rosy scenario, like I do, you need to own some tech, some industrial, some retail, some travel place. Is that too bullish? Here's the bottom line. With a vaccine glut on the horizon, at-home testing, possibility of a stimulus deal in Washington, all the while the Fed holds down rates, I worry about being, let's say, too bearish and not being too bullish. As a matter of fact, I'd be worried about not being bullish enough.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.